Before this video begins, y'all should know, I did not do the best of jobs documenting or just vlogging this whole AX experience, so a lot of these clips are sort of chopped up, different one-off very short clips, because you know I'm very weird still with recording in public and whatnot, so just do your best to enjoy just the little bit that I've edited and done here, and then we're just gonna jump back to us here in the present as I break down more of just telling stories and whatnot, so enjoy. My friends, whoa. The journey you're about to witness is one that's been long in the making. One that I'm very excited for, and also terrified for. I figured I'd make a beforehand log of, I guess, what I look like now and just my thoughts and everything as we go into AX 2023. Now this video is going to be a long one. Even though I'm recording this beforehand, I already know that. It's going to be full of laughs, gaffs, weebs, anything and everything anime few and far between. I can't wait to experience all of it. This 4-day long journey as we experience the wonder and magic that is Anime Expo 2023. Now, I gotta finish doing some last minute packing and then let's get on the road. And now we're here at Anime Expo 2023, and man, holy shit, was it a pain and a half for us to get to where we are, but you guys will never know the half of it, because now we're just here. We're at, fucking where is it? There we go, at AX 2023, and holy shit. It's only 7 in the morning, by the way, and it's already looking like that. I mean, that's just the one entrance. There's another entrance off to the side there, so this is the fit we're gonna be rocking for the day. Got our pass. I'm gonna head down there. Let's get going. All right, Jesus fucking Christ. We finally made it after about 2.5 hours. It's time. It's time. I would have filmed longer, but I was literally dying and I had no energy. But now I'm in and I'm shook. Stare. It's all right.
Hours of in use.
Oh my god, I'm such a YouTuber. Oh my god. That's hot. That's hot. Oh, it feels so nice in here. It's so hot outside. All right, so first thing, we're gonna head over to like this webtoon like panel thing because this idiot really wants to see it. You know, we're just getting started. We're getting warmed up. We're gonna do a lot better than last year. That's for sure. God, I'm out of shape. Let's go. It's too easy. I'm gonna kill somebody doing the gritty. What are we gonna pass out?
Are we sure this is the right spot? I don't want to have a repeat of last year.
It's not Jover. Holy shit. Yeah. But they're figured version, so they have the funky joints. I will return for you. Oh my god. Fucking breath of fresh air. The Bishojo! VTuber! I will return for you. Truck. Ooh. I wonder if we'll see Amogus again. Oh my god. Sheesh. I don't even know where to fucking start. I mean, we know what's over there. Alright, let's just jump right into it. This is where all like the hippie shit is. Oh! Do I dare talk about what I do?
Who's your forensic girlfriend?
The body pillows! Let's go! That's a isn't that a hentai? I see things that no man should ever see. Speaking of things no man should ever see, let's run quickly from the Genshin. Jesus.
Hey. It's for you.
The one Star Wars thing, yeah, sure. Oh my god. Gamer chair, bottom text. That's a lot of Gundam stuff. Whoa. 3D posters.
Let's say this is fog graphics.
What? Gamer sucks! Can I have Guacamole Gamer for 9,000? A lot of craziness. Low key. I love that. Just. What? No, baby. Ooh, okay, there we go. That's some nice Star Wars stuff there. Represent. Ah, yes. Yes. Degeneracy is all inclusive. I guarantee that guy's gonna capture that photo. It's me with Bay. Single sploot. Okay. Sorry. Oh my. Bro, all I'm saying is we could use one of these body pillows. 5 Nights at Freddy's. Genshin plays, you nasty. Anyone who has a couple of Cuckoo's banner, I kind of respect you.
The fucking Millennium Puzzle!
The Millennium Puzzle, bro, we're fucked.
Back to the merch piece.
Oh my god, it always comes back. That is, 2 Harpoon, summon skull, I think. Irrelevant. I just love the Sephiroth seriously posing while that music is playing. Was he hitting the gritty? I love that out of all of these, the one that caught my eye was the Love is War figurines. Mango.
This is only
Right. Whoa. Damn. Ocarina. Well, like cyberpunky as art.
on the left.
Yeah. Okay, we still have like the whole other side to look at. Imagine coming to AX and leaving with a PC. What kind of games we play? Is that Valorant? Oh god. They had me until I saw Valorant.
Let's cap.
Yo, Juju on that beat. There's another season of Spice and Wolf. I gotta check that out. God damn it, why is the Gundam line always so fucking long? An amazing experience. I'm gonna go so broke. Transformers. Basketball, that kind of goes hard. I have to buy 7 Dragon Ball basketballs.
Fucking Michael Jordan appears. To
Oh
go
my
over.
god.
Why are
Whoa.
they so expensive?
No, making me sold out. Oh my god damn. Oh, that's why. Because they're that big. Oh man. Oh, the saber. Fuck. Ugh. Underwear.
Look at that Konosuba poster, right? You know.
Stay alive. Oh. 16K. How does that work?
How do you actually find parking?
Finally. Please don't be a line. Alright, so. Okay. Bing shilling. Oh my god. I don't know why I went against the flow. It's just my nature. Yeah, man. We need to get the fuck out of here, shoddy. Whoa.
I thought this was all in Russia.
It's all. Oh no, there's other characters. Oh my god, there's a fucking Bochi one. I'm done.
Later.
Streams, and we only have an hour and a half this time, so we're going to
Only.
be going much faster if you've seen any of my streams than that. So you guys don't need to hear me talk about Isekai anime for the millionth time. You guys are actually cheering that?
And they've also entrusted me with control of this show.
Oh no.
So if it goes wrong, it's on me.
Your beak is coming from.
That transition. You like that? Analingus. I was curious what it's like to her thoughts on eating ass and she can reach it. Yeah, I can eat ass. The girl on that tongue.
Oh my lord. Show us something.
I'm seeing a nipple tonight. By God.
All titties are gone.
Oh, on God. Alright, so what the fuck is this?
I wanted water. Essentially, we got that's a thumbnail right
Oh
there.
yeah, oh yeah. We don't know what's in here,
Well,
so.
obviously, it was stapled shut.
Well, I didn't see that. Future me, be prepared to censor this.
It's pretty tame.
Okay.
I don't want to open it.
Well, I want to see it. Okay, let's see. How bad is this?
It's not even in English.
It's not in English. That's good. Oh, it's an ugly bastard. Okay, yeah, that can be shown.
Let's check out the poster.
Okay. Among Us. I couldn't tell you what that is, but yeah.
The Spirit of Eternity Sword #2.
That sounds like some fake shit.
Yeah, you would know, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
Now, let's see.
sticker.
These stickers are pretty big.
Oh my. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a. Oof, yeah. I saw an interesting Mitsuri one.
I'm surprised the book wasn't more like explicit.
Well, I mean, did you actually look at it?
No.
It's an ugly bastard one, so.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I mean, it was random, but still. Alright, funny story. So, I just saw the Harimia panel here. It was really good. Phenomenal, even. Got to listen to the voice actor Miyamura talk about stuff, the director talk about stuff. But funny story about how I actually got in. I had trouble finding where the line started. I, was walking up to the front to ask, yo, so, where's the line end or start or whatever? And I didn't even get the chance to ask the question before said voice actor and director were right behind me walking into the room. Of course, they're VIPs, so they didn't. All they had to be was yeah, this is literally my panel. So I just kind of went with the flow, like the French kid at the Gamer Awards. Yeah, I just sort of walked in and didn't say anything, and no one told me anything. To be fair, I think my attire might have helped with that. I just walk with confidence in a bow tie, and I think you'll be fine. It was funny, so I just sort of sat in there and just. I did it strategically though. I made sure to sit in the front next to everyone else who was already in there, not in the back like an idiot. No one questioned me, thankfully, so it was just sort of awkward just sitting there yeah, I shouldn't be here right now, but fuck it, we ball. So today's the last day of AX. Just we're taking it all in one last time. Trying to see his booth. Real life Oshinoko. If I don't sound as energetic, because I'm literally not. I've literally been doing 4 days of this shit. But I'm still having a great time. Time flew by like crazy. Here's where you can take pictures and shit. This is the fit we're rocking today. My makeshift Denji. I'm sorry I've been so shit at recording this. I'm just not used to in person. I'm not really someone who can who busts out their phone or their videoing stuff anyway. I'm someone who likes to take in the moment. Long story short, this shit creepy. So I hope you were able to keep up at least a little bit with whatever the hell this little vlog thing was. I swear I recorded a lot more than what I actually did, but I guess a lot of those clips were just short 10 second to barely a minute long clips. So now I'm just gonna tell the story, just fill in the gaps of what you saw here. So the first little clip that you saw at the beginning was me the day that we left, because we decided, let's leave the day before just so we could get down there and get settled, which now looking back was obviously a very good idea considering everything that happened. And then the cut between me doing this was about a day, and there was just a whole slew of events leading from me leaving and meeting up with my friend and then going down there. But it's a story I don't really feel like retelling over and over again, because it sucks. Stuff happened, but we still had a great time. But just going into the first day of AX, I'm going to be using MS Paint to sort of tell this story, just so you get sort of an idea of what we were having to deal with the whole time. So day 1 AX, woke up at about 6 in the morning, because we knew that the lines were going to be fucked, and oh how fucked they were. Even at about 7 in the morning, the line to get into this entrance here was already starting from here, going all the way around the crypto arena, out to the back pretty much, and wrapping all the way, doing this big shape, and then eventually converging back into this area. And overall it took about 2.5 hours to get from where we started right around here to get all the way from here. And honestly, it's a miracle I did not get sunburned, considering that I am pasty and white as fuck. I somehow walked away unscathed, despite the fact that there were many points where I pretty much was just accepting. It was right around this point and here where I was I'm gonna get sunburned. I was still trying to protect myself, but I didn't bring sunscreen because I'm an idiot. 2.5 hours later, we finally got in. Of course, going into this year, I finally did research on what are all the different events and everything that's gonna be happening, instead of last year where we just showed up and just we don't know what's going on, but we're here. So some of the first events, my friend was gonna go see a webtoon panel, which I think was in 403, around in this hall area. And I wanted to see the Gunpla panel. And now I'm going to start talking about just the crazy line system that AX has, because it's kind of scuffed. My friend got into his panel, no sweat. But for me, it took me about like a whole extra hour just to figure out, wait, where? Like, because you couldn't just line up outside of where the event was happening. They were like, oh, the thing is outside, you gotta go outside. So I eventually found, it's like, all right, the line for 409 was outside, right about in this area over here. By outside, like, I didn't know what, because they just kept saying outside, and I was just like, outside where? Because all this was on like the second level. You had to go down the escalators, and then like there was some doors, I think like around here, and then you also could have gone out through the main event, and there was like doors there that led to like this outside like courtyard area where like the beer garden, like this whole area here. And there were different lines for like a bunch of different things, and I eventually found the Gunpla line, but of course by the time I started lining up, the hall was filled in, and we were told like, you gotta leave. So I was like, god damn it. So then I was like, all right, fine, I'll just go to the next event I want to do, which is the premiere for Eminence in Shadow Season 2, because I really loved that show and I want to see more of it. And that was in the main events hall B at about like 12:30-ish was when it was happening. And of course, I am very familiar now with the main events hall, considering that last year that's where the Trash Taste thing was happening, and I had my whole funny story with that. But then I was like, no, I will not have that happen again. So I lined up like right away right there, and I was like, all right, I'm here early, I'm gonna get in, I'm gonna see a good premiere. But lo and behold, would you believe, out of nowhere, once everyone started lining up outside the thing, someone walks out like a couple minutes before it's supposed to begin and is just like, this is not the line for the main events. The line is outside. And I was like, of course it is. So I tried my best to run as fast as I could outside. By the time I got outside, the line was already like completely like taken over in this area. So I was like, okay. So I went and met back up with my friend and explained that whole situation and how scuffed it was. So we were just like, let's just go check out the artist alley. So we headed over to the exhibit hall and just decided to walk around, and that's where you saw the clips there of us walking through the artist alley and everything. There was another friend who was supposed to come with us, but because of the whole like ticket selling out, he didn't get his in time. So he met up with us later, and my friend like swapped or just gave him his ticket for the day. So going into the nighttime, it was me and him. So we went through like the exhibit hall again, and then with him I visited the entertainment hall, which was really cool. And I told him, it's just like, all right, there's one like event later this night that I want to see. He was really wanting to see the anime otaku debates. I was like, all right, they're at like the similar time. Like, I wanted to see the Fate Strange Fake premiere, which of course was in the same main events hall. And I'm gonna preface this, about 2 hours before that premiere was ever gonna happen, we were outside like the beer garden area, like just getting some snacks and whatnot. And I noticed this like giant line forming like right over here. And I was just like, nah, surely that's not for the Fate thing, right? It's like still not even for like another 2 hours. Like, I get people are gonna line up, but there's no way there's already that big a line for it, right? And finally I caved and like went and asked someone standing in line. I was like, hey, what's this line for? And they're like, oh, it's for the Fate premiere. Of course it is. And of course my friend was just laughing at me, and I was like, all right, you know what, fuck it. Like, with a lot of these event rooms, it's like they don't clear the rooms before or after like the panels are done, unless it's like for a ticketed event or an 18+ event. But if it's just a normal panel event, you can stay in the room, and then like if you want to see the next panel that's going to be in that room, you could just stay in that room until the next panel comes around. We did abuse that system a couple times, but I'll get more on that later. So for the otaku debates, we waited in line. So the event that was happening before that was a panel for Yen Press, which is like some manga publishing company. Me and my friend were just sitting in the back, just doing whatever. We just did not give a shit about it, and we just waited in there until the debates started. And the debates, honestly, looking back, I'm kind of glad I missed the Fate premiere, because I would have missed out on some amazing comedy with the debates, because it was just such a fun energy. Like, you know, the host for it, he was a really cool guy. We got to talk to him a little bit before it started, because we were literally the only ones in there. But then obviously the debates happened and more people came in. Just a lot of funny debates, just, you know, like who's the most racist between Frieza and the second Hokage? You know, who would win in a mecha battle, America or Japan? Like, you know, a lot of funny debates, and, you know, people with a lot of funny charisma. It was a fun way to end out the first day. For the most part, the first day was definitely the worst day. Just trying to figure out how the fuck the lines worked. The thing is, I get why the line system is the way it is. It's to prevent, like, obviously congestion in the convention center, and I'm sure it's a system that probably, like, was expedited by, like, COVID and everything last year. But it's just, I'm fine with it being that way. It's just like when you go to where the actual place is, they just have a sign that says the 400 rooms lines are outside, and it's like, it doesn't tell you anything else past that. Also, another thing I'll say, it's like, if you did not have the app for AX, you were fucked. You didn't know where events were, like what time they were. I won't say it doesn't feel unorganized. Definitely, all things considered, I think AX has a pretty well organized system. It's just the fact that there's so many fucking people that are going to this. In fact, I would not be surprised if going into the future, the prices for AX tickets slowly go up, just to maybe ward off like more and more people coming. But either way, that pretty much was all day one. So then going into day 2, we decided, like, you know what, waiting in line that early in the morning was not really worth it. Besides, once you wait till about like 11:30, 12-ish, the lines pretty much clear up, then you can pretty much just walk in. So we were just like, let's just chill for a little while. There's no events really early in the morning that we care about seeing, so we just like waited till about like 11, 12-ish, and then like we went down and we literally just walked in. We didn't have to wait at all. I will say, another thing about like the events and whatnot, it really is kind of sad because a lot of the events do like take place at like the same time. Thankfully, we didn't really run into that problem too much, where it's like, oh, I really want to see this event. Oh, but this event. It's like a lot of times you have to pick and choose. But another like sad part with that is that if you don't line up early enough for the event that you want and like they cap it off, then it's like, oh, well, all that time's wasted. And it's like, oh, well, I guess we can go do the other thing. But it's like by the time you get to go do the other thing, it's like it's already started or it's already packed. So it's like there's a lot of planning that really has to go into just like going to an event here. Day 2 had, I would say, is the day that had the most events that I wanted to see, just mainly because it had the 2 trash taste events, or just like, you know, Sea-Dog VA and Iron Mouse had their panel, and then not long after that, Sea-Dog VA and Giguk had their Katakawa presentation panel. And I was like, I want to see both of those before we get to all that. What all happened? I'm having trouble trying to remember. Oh yeah, so with the whole debate thing, on the first day, it was like the sign-ups. So it's like you show up, they explain it, and then you sign up. Then the next day was like the preliminary, the like first round of it. And then the third day was like the final round of it. So we went and saw the preliminary one early in the morning. Thankfully, we were able to just walk in. We were a little late to it. We missed like probably the first couple debates, but it's whatever. There was some funny stuff in there. Again, I'm recording this like about 3-ish days after the fact, so my memory is a little fuzzy. Again, this is where recording it would have been nice. But yeah, funny stuff with that. We just kind of sat there and just like relaxed for a little while. Oh yeah, for this day, for my cosplay, I was dressed as Shinji, which I've, you know, it's like kind of like my go-to cosplay for just stuff. But then after that, I know that for the bulk of the second day, because there were a lot of events that were over in the JW Marriott, which like over here is where like the main convention center was, but then you had to like go across the street over to this hotel, which was JW Marriott. And on the different like levels, there were different events, which was a lot of like obviously the big ones where it was like, you know, big premieres or like certain creators and whatnot were presenting stuff. Of course, I wanted to line up for the Sea-Dog VA Iron Mouse panel, and I was like, all right, we should probably head over there. This was like an hour and a half like before it was supposed to start, which looking back on, I was like, oh no, that wasn't nearly enough time. Like we needed to be there minimum 2 hours before. Well, even no, but once we showed up to the JW Marriott, we were heading up to the Diamond level, which was where that event was happening, and we couldn't even get up there because someone was already at the escalator going up there. Like the Diamond room is filled at capacity, but we were like, you know, we just kept going straight. So we went on the platinum level, which was the panel for Studio Bones, or as when I was walking by, someone said, oh yeah, the Studio Bonds panel. Like, look, I've heard many pronunciations of like Studio Ufotable, Ufotable, UFO table, but Bones is Bones. But of course, you know, I love Bones, you know, My Hero Academia, Full Metal, Cowboy Bebop, you know, all the good shit. It was just kind of just like a celebration of like Studio Bones, as well as like announcing couple different stuff, you know, it was cool. So yeah, that whole event happened. We were like, all right. So then we walked out and went back up to the diamond level because we were like, all right, the Katakawa Sea-Dog VI Giga panel isn't still for a couple hours, but we should still probably line up for that. But I mean, these rooms were also still the same as like the event rooms at the convention center, which means that they don't clear them. So we decided like, all right, there's an event that's happening before the Katakawa thing, so like let's just go see that event so we can just camp out in preparation for the next event. So, and the event before that was like a VTuber. It was American VTubers working for a Japanese agency, and like, what's that like? It was kind of funny, honestly. The couple VTuber panels that I did go to here, it's just so funny. It's like VTuber fans are insane. But like, it was cool just like seeing 2 new VTubers who, you know, they're funny for VTubers. So I was like, you know, yeah, I'll follow them for a little while, see how they grow. You know, they played a song that they made, which was pretty cool. But it pretty much was just like we camped out there so that we can then be there for the Katakawa. If you saw a video I posted recently, which was a trailer being shown for the first time, was during that event. But pretty much that whole event was just Giguk and Connor. I'm just gonna call them Garnt and Connor because that's how I know them, the Trash Taste Boys. Minus Joey because he was elsewhere at the time. It pretty much was them partnered with Katakawa, just like presenting like new upcoming titles that are gonna be like, they showed like 20 trailers for stuff, a lot of stuff that seemed pretty interesting that I'll definitely keep my eye on going to the future. But then the event concluded with a first look premiere episode for the show My Happy Marriage, which it seemed all right. Just, I'm surprised out of all of the stuff that they could have premiered, they showed that, but it was just cool, like sort of redeeming myself from last year after missing out on the Trash Taste panel, seeing at least 2/3 of Trash Taste in person, and just, I remember leaning over to my friend, I'm like, they're real. Of course, on the Trash Taste panel thing that happened last year that I missed out on, looking back on it now, there was no chance in hell I was ever going to see that. Like, not that I didn't want to, obviously I really wanted to, but like, just after experiencing and just learning the meta, I guess, for lines and whatnot for AX. Yeah, there was no shot I was gonna be able to get inside last year, just because by the time we were heading over there, it's like there's no way I would have been able to get in line. Like, I needed to be in line like 2 hours plus before, and just like I probably would have made the same mistake I made this year, which was lining up in front of the doors instead of lining up outside where the line actually was. So yeah, I at least have closure on that, knowing it's just like, yeah, I never would have made it. I'm at least glad I got to see it this year. And also going to the Trash Taste booth, which was in the entertainment hall, that was really fun. We took some really fun pictures, you know, like being on like their makeshift Trash Taste set, getting the trash cans. I ordered a Trash Taste shirt, which, because they were so back ordered, be like, we're gonna ship it to you. So that's gonna be coming Lord knows when. But yeah, that pretty much was day 2. Day 3. I think day 3 definitely was our best day. For the most part, we pretty much saw and did everything we wanted to do. I'm trying to remember how did day 3 start. From day 2, 3, and 4, we pretty much did the same thing where it's like we didn't wake up super early. I think definitely the first 2 days were the worst days because 3 and 4 didn't feel nearly as bad. I think because just those 2 days were weekdays, whereas the first day and the second day were on Saturday and Sundays, which were weekends, but then like the third and fourth day were on Monday, Tuesday, so that probably factored some amount. So day 3, me and my friend kind of split up early on because like he had like other webtoon panels he wanted to see because he's really into that. And then what did I do? Oh yeah, this third day I was dressed as Kyosoma from Fruits Basket, or at least my version of it. The first place I went to on the third day was I went to the Aniplex A1 Pictures panel, which the first half was really cool. The coolest part about the industry panels, which is like all the different like, you know, animation studio panels, is that like at the beginning they show like a big, sort of like an AMV like look back on like all the big series that they've done, and of course like everyone cheered for like the shows and whatnot, so it's like that was the coolest part. For the Aniplex A1, it was sort of like that again. You know, they announced a couple, the only thing was just like the stuff that they announced was all stuff that had already come out. They didn't really announce anything new other than like, oh yeah, the Rascal Does Not Dream of Sister Venturing Out movie. You can see that later at the JW Marriott, which we'll get to that later. It's like that whole part was cool, and then of course they talked to like the director, and that's where the panel for me kind of became boring, just because they then went on like this thing talking about like animation and whatnot, and I was like, okay, this is kind of boring. I didn't leave though, I still stayed for pretty much the whole thing. But then after that I went to the Skull Island panel, which is like this in the same vein as like the King Kong Godzilla new live action universe, which I thought it was a premiere for it. That's why I kind of lined up early. But as soon as I walked in, I saw the date, June 22nd, and I was like, oh, this already came out, didn't it? So it was just a panel of just like the creators and like the voice actor for one of the characters just sort of talking about it. And of course they played a trailer for it. There was a Q&A, and I was just like, all right, this is kind of interesting, I guess. It would have been pretty boring, except one of the voice actors is the same guy who voices Gumball from Amazing World of Gumball. So like whenever he spoke, it was funny. And then I met back up with my friend after that, and I was like, all right, we should probably start heading over to the Marriott, because we knew we had to get there early because one of the events we wanted to see was the premiere for Rascal Does Not Dream of Sister Venturing Out movie. So we got there pretty early because I wanted to do the big brain idea of just like, all right, there's another event that's happening before that, so let's get in line and try. It was for the Loving Yamada-kun at level 999 event, and we got in line for that, but we didn't get in line early enough though, unfortunately. We got pretty close to the front, but they capped it off, and I was like, all right, let's just hold our place in line though, because we pretty much were pretty close to the front of the line going into the premiere, and of course, it being a premiere, it was going to be packed. So we pretty much just sat there for like 2 hours, and I had watched the Bunny Girl Senpai movie because I hadn't seen it yet. Just sort of refreshed myself on the story. And then of course we eventually got in, and we got pretty decent seats, and we watched the Rascal Does Not Dream of Sister Venturing Out movie, and goddamn, I forget how good that series is, man. I did not give it its fair dues when I first watched it like so many years ago. And that movie was no exception. Of course, I'm not going to spoil it. It'll be out soon enough for people to watch, but it makes me really look forward to the next movie, which was announced after that was done. It just was cool experiencing it with a crowd of those fans. Just like, you know, it was very funny. It was sad at parts, but yeah, it was just fun. Oh yeah, and then after that, the day was still not done. We went to another panel, which was another VTuber panel for Project Melody and some other girls of V Shoujo. And goddamn, this might be probably my favorite event, or at least surprised me the most of how fun it was, just because, as I talked about earlier, VTuber fans are some of the most insane fans I think I've ever experienced, and that never became more true to me than when I experienced this event, because holy shit, anytime any of the VTubers even uttered a breath, the room erupted with cheering and clapping. If you want to head over to my Patreon, I probably wasn't supposed to, but I recorded some of the panel and I'll upload it there, because holy fuck, that was really fun. That was a fun way to end the third day. I didn't necessarily want to see that panel, but be like, you know what, we're here, let's just do it. It was an 18 plus event, obviously, so we were just like, you know what, let's do at least one 18 plus event before we leave. It was just mainly the audience, man. Like, they just completely just took over that event, but in a good way though. It's not like the girls still had their moment. It was a good back and forth. A symbiotic relationship, if you will. But yeah, once that funny event was said and done, we headed back to the hotel, we relaxed for a little bit, got some food, and then slept our last night, going into the last day of AX. Alright, let's take all of our shit, like go throw it in the car, check out. I did have to alter the plan a little bit, because though we were still waiting for like the line to die down early in the morning, there was an event pretty early where I was like, alright, I want to go see this, my friend, I will see you later. All right, Godspeed. And then I just like sprinted full pelts. And this is where the story that I told earlier of how I snuck in, a stroke of good fortune and fate allowed me to get into the Horimiya panel. God, that's still probably one of my favorite things that's ever just happened to me. Of course, do bear in mind I was dressed as Denji, so like, you know, there's so many factors now looking back on that. It was just like, how the fuck? But after that, I met back up with my friend. The last thing we did was a thing my friend wanted to see, which was like this isekai, kind of like of Mad Libs, of just like, there's so many different titles of isekai, like you can literally like slip anything and make a crazy title, and that's more or less what that was. It's just funny that that's the last thing we did at AX, because there was the closing ceremony and stuff that I kind of wanted to stay for, but my friend made the good point of just like, it's LA, we should probably hit the road before 5 o'clock. But after that event, I was just like, bro, we spent all this time here and I have not bought anything from the exhibit hall. So like we went and scouted that out, did some stuff. My friend was just like, bro, like do whatever you want, like I'll go wait, let me know when you're done. It felt like a parent just being like, just let me know when you're done. Which For me, I realized how integral it is that people stay with me while I shop, because once I was let off the hook, I literally went like, pew, and just like went all over the place. Even still, I didn't buy too much. Like, I still restrained myself. Like, there wasn't too much that was really jumping out to me. Like, a lot of it is just like wall art and like scroll. Like, the most I bought was like this Fruits Basket wall scroll. I bought a Gundam. And then, of course, the thing that I think I mentioned last year, which I've been having my eye on forever now, that I finally decided to get just because the line finally died down, which of course is this Metamorphosis tote bag, which I saw last year, which was in the 18 plus Faku booth. I got that and this Saki metal bookmark, which has, you know, the before and the after. I had my eye on that since last year, and then every time we passed it, I'd be like, I want that fucking tote bag. Especially now that I fucking read Metamorphosis. I passed by the booth one last time and the line was like practically non-existent. And I was like, all right, this is like my last chance. So I just jumped in line and I was like, give me that fucking tote. And sure, throw in the bookmark while I'm at it. I wanted to get a shirt too, because there was another one that had Saki's face on it. But they were like, oh, we don't have like it in my size. I was like, that's probably for the best. But yeah, after I got that, I was like, all right, I'm cutting myself off. I'm done. I told my friend, just like, I'll just meet you at the car. Like, we had gone out like completely different exits. And I hit the point that every convention goer meets, and that is leaving those doors for the last time. And I was more emotional than I thought I would be, man. Obviously, looking back now, it's like those 4 days flew by so fast. You know, I walked out, said my goodbyes, and scanned my badge for the very last time. Until next year, AX. Again, that was definitely good that we left before like big rush hour. And of course, like, if we did stay for the closing event, we would then have the big rush of people leaving the event. This pretty much was AX 2023. Holy shit. My now second year in the books. I classified last year as being a learning experience. I still feel like this year was also a learning experience. At least for the first couple of days, just, you know, learning how the lines work. Now I know where everything is. It's now probably muscle memory, like going into next year. So if like we ever bring any more first timers with us, other people, it's like, just leave everything to me. I was definitely scared, like, after this all was said and done, just like, I wonder if like I'll still want to come back. And let me tell you, yeah, I definitely still want to come back. Like, even though it's just line con, you know, waiting in lines, it's like, isn't that every con? At the end of the day, it's just such a vibe. And leaving, it's just like, man, I belong here. As cringe and weird as that sounds, I'm just like, I love it. I never thought I would. I've always just been someone just like, yeah, cons seem cool and whatnot, but not for me. Don't really need all those crowds and whatnot. But actually being here for something like this, it's like, damn. Like, one of these times I definitely want to try to maybe go to a Comic-Con one of these days, just to say that I've been. And even then, like, after 4 days, I feel like I still missed out on a lot of stuff. Next year, definitely, I want to try going to the maid cafes and the butler cafes. I wanted to this year, it's just that shit sold out so fast. If you guys are at all into anime and you're in the LA area, I recommend it. Of course, I don't recommend cons to everybody, of course, you know, even as me, as someone who has a lot of anxiety, for something like this, I can kind of just forget about it. Hopefully, as this channel grows, maybe one of these days I can be invited as a creator for AX. Maybe have my own panel, do my own thing, meet some of you people. Around this time last year, I think we barely had like 80 subs, and now here we are now, teetering on 350. 350, look at us. Who would have guessed? Not me. But definitely, I promise, going into next year, I'll make it more of a point to record stuff. It's just mainly because I still don't have like a proper camera yet, so a lot of it was being done on my phone, and of course, like, I was also using that phone to use the app, look at the maps, so like, I was very scatterbrained a lot of the time with like, when should I film, what should I film, and of course, a lot of events being like, oh, like, no cameras, no photography and whatnot, so I'm just like, going into next year though, I promise, I'll try to make it more of a documented experience. So hopefully at least got a little bit of a laugh out of the stuff that I did record in the story that I have told here. Now that AX is over and we're back home, I will be back on the YouTube grind. There's many reviews I need to catch up on doing and stuff I need to watch, play, and a lot of plans that I have now going into this next phase of the channel. This was my journey at AX 2023. Join me for many other videos of the like, as well as hopefully I get to see some of you next year at AX 2024. So until next time, I'm Lancer. Thanks for watching.